Good morning. This is a brief tutorial on how to use Infoshare to get data for school districts in New York City. Infoshare is a database for New York City put together and maintained by someone who deserves compliments if you can give it to them, because it generally works and it's generally pretty handy. You can do maps of your data, and you can put data in spreadsheets. You can even do simple calculations, but we're just going to do the basic stuff. Now, if you're interested in a school district, it has the school districts. All the school districts for New York City will pull off the data, but if you want to get really precise, you can also look at the zip code or even the census tract. The census tract is a neighborhood of about 50,000 people, and it's a very small area, and you can actually get data for the immediate neighborhood of the school. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to look at today. You can do it, but we're going to look at just the school district data itself. Now, if you're using Infoshare.org, there it is, for the first time, you're going to need to subscribe. And then when you type in Infoshare.org on your browser, you see this welcome screen, and you click here, and anybody can subscribe. There's no requirements. You just have to sign up and tell them what you're doing, basically, and who you are. I've already done that, so my login is sitting here, and I just click login. Now we have 4 choices. We can only use 2 of them, as it turns out. One is to profile an area, and an area is a perfectly good area is a school district, and we can pick a school district in New York City, but we don't want that. We want New York State or New York City. Here's New York City, and we want what we want is school district. There's the school district, and then depending on the borough, we'll get different school districts. These are the school districts that are in each borough. So we're interested in Manhattan. For whatever reason, we're interested in School District 6, so we click on that. And then we have a choice of data sources. We can use 2010, which is just a 1% sample, or this 2007-11, which is a 5% sample and gives us the most detail. All of them give you the school district data, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010. They're all okay at the school district level. As you go down finer and finer, meaning zip code or census tract, you need the 5% sample. This immigration data is nice, but you can see that it ends in 2002, and so it's currently not being updated. So let's choose the 2011 census, and then let's look at the race. We've already chosen school district 6, so let's look at the racial composition of school district 6. And here it is, and if we want it, we can just copy it like this. And this is the best thing for a small table. There's another way to download the data when you have a bigger table, but then you can just go over to Excel if you want to. I've already done this. If Excel is in another screen, here it is, and you can just paste this. This is some data also for school district 6, and it comes out too big, but you can adjust it. I don't know why it pastes so large. Make it much smaller. It starts at 14, and you want to just cut it back to 8, 9, and then it's more manageable, and you can reformat. You can see it comes out pretty well, and you have the source and everything. So that's one way to do it. Okay, let's say we wanted to look at all the school districts in Manhattan. To do that, we could use the second choice, which is the second tab, which is area comparison. Again, pick New York City. You want to look at, say, a borough like Manhattan and all of the school districts in Manhattan. So this, now we have, instead of just one school district, we have all of the school districts in Manhattan. And we can choose the same database. We can look at the population by race. Now we have to pick one of these categories. We can actually pick them all. You can actually just press Shift and choose all of the racial categories at once if you want to. So now we have this additional feature that we can have a map of where this, in this case, this is going to be the number of blacks. This takes a few minutes, so but I'll push map, and then we can keep talking while it prepares the map. You may not need a map. The map is nice, and you can use one. You have to they don't label the school districts, unfortunately, but so you actually have to figure out what school districts are, what I already know from another map, and then you could label this with ones. This is a picture, and you can copy it to your file. Anyway, we won't get into that right now. It's easy to do, and it might be nice. It would if you get a little bit good, you can add a ratio. You can compute the ratio of the groups to the total. It takes a few tricks, and it's probably easier to do it in Excel. Just copy this map, and then you can tell from the data almost which districts they are. No, because they're two of the same color. You have to know the school districts, but a map of the school districts is easy to get. We'll add that later. You can just type in New York City school districts. There's a bunch of, I have a spreadsheet which has all the links to the maps. But right now we want to do the last step, which is we've got this data, so we view it in a table. There's our table, but we could copy this over, just go like this and copy it to a spreadsheet, copy and paste. That's okay. But just to get ready, we click File here. There's an option, File. I'll do it again. Right there. There's print. You could print the data, but you could also print it to a PDF. But if you want to get it in an Excel file, then you and it always comes up with this message, but don't worry, it doesn't mean anything. This is a trusted source, and so you can just say, okay, I'll take it. It comes out way too big, as I mentioned before, and you need to enable editing. So stupid, this. Waste your time, and it will never. Okay, so just shrink it down, and then for this row, you want to choose wrap text. Then highlight these. This is just formatting. The data's here. The data came out fine. It's just you can't see what's going on until you reformat it a little bit, which I've just done. The nice thing about Infoshare is that it gives you lots of documentation of the source. This is, every variable has its own documentation, and so you can set it up however you want. And here's the data, and then we could compute the shares for each district. These are the school districts. You don't know they're a school district until you look down here. But these are school districts. That's what we want. These are the 6 districts in Manhattan. And this, we can easily sum up these rows and then compute the shares, which is probably more interesting way to use the data. But you can do that. That's Excel. So we did what we want to. You probably want to change the format to save it, and you can save it anywhere you want. I'm going to save it in a directory called New York, and don't use this option. You just use the regular Excel workbook And this is actually data that I'm saving for school districts 1 to 6. So there you are. We did it. Let's go back to Infoshare and just review one more time. We have these two options. Later we can talk about other options, because if we use a two-way table here, we can condition on a lot more things. We can do zip codes, we can do census tracts, but for now you can actually do census tracts here too. We have these two ways. We can do one school district, or we can do all the school districts in New York City or a borough, however we want to do it. And we click through, and then at a crucial stage, and you'll figure out when that is, you choose school districts. These are going to be all the school districts in Manhattan, and we choose the kind of data that we want. And let's say we want population by male and female. Then we click go, and there it is. This is just the data that's going to be there, and then we generate our table. And there is the data for all the school districts, actually, and all the boroughs, all the school districts in New York City, because we didn't choose one borough. Okay, so that's good it's a good start for today. It's how to get school district data, and there's a lot of choices. Latino, there's work, there's education, there's income. You can get poverty levels for all the school districts, housing conditions, lots of data here, and you just have to experiment and see, depending on your particular requirements, what you need. Okay, but next time we'll focus on the other community districts, zip codes, and other ways to get it. But now at least you know how to get school district data for New York City. Bye.